Yeah, I mean, we've been blessed, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, we've had just lots of fun.
And that's a key.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it, in our case, was, we were really praying for the right person to come into our lives, both of us.
Yeah.
Independently, we didn't even know each other, but we're just praying, I mean, you date and nothing seems to click and you go along and we really were praying that, God would put the right person with us, And then we found each other and boy, it was just perfect. And
How long ago did you guys meet?
Well, 50 years
And
ago.
we just celebrated our 49th anniversary
yeah,
in December.
we'll be-
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Close it into 50.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's funny, but people ask me, well, what do you attribute, this long marriage to, successful marriage? And I tell them, well, we go out to dinner once a week, candlelight, soft music, dancing. She goes Tuesday and I go Friday.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
That's the secret. Not really.
No.
No, scratch that. But, now that I got your attention.
Date night, but with other people.
Yeah, right.
But we really have been fortunate. And we've had a great marriage. And it's not one of those that isn't a lot of up and down and crises and, it's pretty
It's
even
really,
keel
yeah, it's been very easy,
for us
Yeah.
considered.
Even our kids always say, oh, I hope we have a marriage like you have. And on our 49th, this last year, one of our daughters wrote, boy, you sure make it look easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Which is
thought,
really,
wow, that was nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of fun together. And like a lot of marriages, we really enjoy each other. So we're with each other all the time.
Yeah, you probably never see one of us without
It's
the other.
Yeah.
just that it's fun.
Yeah.
We do everything together. We'll go hunting together, or we'll, whatever we do. It's we just have a lot of fun together, and so we kind of like two peas in a pod.
You're like each other's best friend.
Yeah.
We really are.
Really?
Yeah.
We really are. And we get the different. I know you mentioned something about the different stages of marriage.
Yeah.
The early years when you're just, you say your I do's, and then you kind of move in, and you kind of. It's tentative,
Mm-hmm.
what do we do? What do you expect? How do we get going? You got that stage, and then the kids come, and that goes on for a long time. And then you get the empty nest
Yep.
one, and that you have to prepare for that, and
Yeah.
then you get retirement.
Yeah.
And you get those 4 stages.
You're back together all day.
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's important when the kids are growing up that, you just don't give them all your time because, like Bob said, when they're gone, you've got to be together. And I
Yeah.
think that's where a lot of people have issues. They're so involved with the kids that they forget about their spouse.
Yeah.
And then they just draw apart and,
When the
Yeah.
kids leave.
yeah, then there's like, well, what are we going to do now? I don't have my kids to,
And I don't know you or
yeah.
like you.
Well, yeah, and I think we made it clear, and it kind of sounds shocking, but she's the most important thing in my life, God and my wife, and then the kids. And so many times people, what?
Yeah.
Your kids are, yeah, they're very important, but she's the most important person, and I think kids see that, and they see the love between us, and that example, I think is, now that, time has gone by and they're married, you see it in their marriage,
Yeah.
that love and,
Yeah.
between the two of us, and it reflected.
Yeah.
So we always made a point of doing that. So every day we kind of, at the end of the day, even when the kids were really little, it was hard, but as they got on their own, at 5, 6 years old, I'd come home from work and we could go up in a room and we could sit there for a half hour and
Just be together.
tell each other
talk
about
each
our
other's
days.
day.
You tell me about what happened in her day with all those kids and
Bob was a police officer, so then he'd tell me all
those
the
days.
Crazy things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we'd share that stuff, and then we go down and hang out with the kids. Just don't say anything that you can't take back. you know, the kids would hear. In of course, you have disagreements and arguments, but in the heat of argument, never say something unkind that you can't ever take back.
Right.
And so we always made a point of that, and you know, we never said anything in front of the children that would cause them a lot of anxiety, like, you know, mom and dad. You know, I think people
Yeah.
worry about
Oh,
they're
yeah.
fighting and are
Are
they
they
going to
gonna
get
get
divorced
divorced?
Right.
and all the anxiety that causes a kid.
Yeah.
We didn't want that in their lives, so.
Yeah.
You
Or,
know,
or never say anything bad about the other person either, you know, like, you know, oh, your dad or your mom did this,
Yeah.
or, you know.
Yeah.
we'd always try to build each other up
Yeah.
in front of the kids and with the in-laws. If there was something, you know, it wasn't, well, Janelle didn't really want to come over, you know,
Yeah. Throw her
or
under
I
the
didn't
bus.
want to.
Yeah.
No, we just decided we weren't going to come over
Yeah.
tonight for this.
Right.
So it was always, we never tried to make the other look bad. You know, there's three things that I think are important in any relationship, business, friendship, particularly marriage. You have to have a compassionate heart. Put the other person first. You have to have an open mind. Be able to share and accept others' point of view, maybe change your own because of that.
Yeah.
And you have to have a creative spirit. Those three things. Compassionate heart, open mind,
Yeah.
creative spirit. Well, what's that? Keep it fun. Keep marriage fun, spontaneous, you know, exciting, rather than boring, sit there and
Same
watch
old,
TV and
yeah.
go to sleep. And,
Yeah.
you know, keep it lively. And,
Yeah.
and we've tried to do that in our
We
marriage.
laugh a lot.
And, you know, always try to put her first
Yeah.
and her needs and try to live our life that way. And I know it's faith too, but faith without action isn't anything, you
Right.
know. So you got to put it into action.
Yep.
And that means things like compassion and
Putting her first.
kindness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting him first.
We sometimes have to sacrifice some of our kids for our own time.
Yeah.
We have to, like you had said earlier, I think, Anna, about, you know, once those kids leave, if you have nothing in common,
Yeah.
as a husband and wife, you know, you're
Yeah.
gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
So it's really important to have that relationship and do the things necessary to maintain it.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And what is it? The highest divorce rate right now is in empty nesters.
I believe it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe
I can
it.
see that.
Because there's so much effort put towards the kids,
Yeah.
and you forget about your spouse.
And we talk about that, but, you know, faith has a big part of that. Prayer life, pray for each other, you know, in our daily prayers.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's going to be stresses, you can't avoid it, you know, you're going to have sick children, sick parents, kids that have learning disabilities or other issues that you worry about
Yep.
and you pray about and that are stressful in your marriage.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to have a good prayer life.
Yeah.
God has to be in there all the time.
Yeah.
It's just, I think sometimes, you know, when you're young and you're first married, especially, you know, when you have kids, you're so busy with your life that
Yep.
prayer isn't really, God isn't just,
No.
not because you push them out, it's just that
There's
you're so
not
busy
enough
So many
time.
things. Yeah.
that you're not thinking that way.
Yep.
And then as you grow older and you realize, no, I got to teach my kids their faith and prayers and family, you know.
Yep.
So you got to make time for that. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think that old phrase, you know, family that prays together stays together, that used to be a big thing in
Yep.
the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well, it's so true.
It
Yeah.
is,
It's
very
so true. And so, you know, we try to do that. You were,
With the kids, you know, you have them say their prayers at night, and you,
Yeah.
after, you know, before every meal, and always took them to church every Sunday. I don't think we ever missed a Sunday over
No.
all these years. you know.
and as they got into school, I'd try to take them to morning mass with me and drop them off, you know, and
Yeah.
we'd always try to, you know, teach them
Right.
the right way.
Um,
I think it makes a man kind of vulnerable because you know, sometimes men just want to be the stoic figure, the hard, you know, disciplinarian maybe, or and you really, when you're teaching your kids or praying with your kids, you're opening yourself up, you know.
Yeah.
You're turning to God and you're showing, hey, He's the charge, you know.
Yeah.
He's in charge. And I think that by setting that example, maybe for kids, because they look at their father differently than their mother.
Yeah.
You know, they just do.
Yeah.
They're a little bit, you know, I don't want to say fearful, but they are a little bit. You know, they aren't.
It's not as warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, it's not that, you know, it isn't. And you have to, you know, and you have to take that step with your children and show emotion. And, you know, I know when I'm an emotional person,
Yeah.
and someone close to me passes away, or, you know, and we have a prayer at our house about that person, a lot of times I might cry in front of my kids, you know.
Yeah.
And that, I think it was a good thing, because they saw that, oh, this is, you know, this must really be important for Dad or us. And, you know, things like that. So when I hear their prayers at night, or we talk about their day, or talk about what was bothering them, or what things did they do to help someone today, or,
Yeah.
you know, they're questions that a man often doesn't ask.
Yep.
And so, you know, I don't know. I just did it because I thought it was natural for me to do that.
Right.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, you know, maybe that is a good thing for fathers to do. You know, they should take that step.
Yeah.
I think it's more accepted nowadays, so.
Yeah, but share their feelings.
Yeah, right,
Men
I
don't
agree.
they don't share their feelings.
No, but I
No.
think it's gotten better than
Yeah.
what it used to
Yeah.
be. You know, you didn't, like you said, when you went away to the Army, you know, your dad just brought down to the station and he shook your hand. If
Yeah.
there was no hug. I mean, that's just.
We didn't
That
hug.
was my generation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. Yeah, I always shook hands with my father. I didn't do that with my kids. I
Yeah.
hugged my kids, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, and telling young people too, in general, you know, when you go through marriage, it you know, the romance, it goes away after a while. You know, a few years, you know, love changes. It's
Mhm.
different.
Yep.
There's more intimacy, a comfort.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not all about sex. There's more.
Yep.
There's deeper things, and you know, young people starting out, you know, they haven't experienced that. They don't know that. It's when you get older and you look back and you see how how life's changed and how your relationship has changed. It always seems for the better. In our case, it's closer.
Yeah.
You can almost finish a sentence as she starts. You know?
Yeah.
It's that closeness and comfort that is really good.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
good. So, lots of things. Lots of things. Actually, you know, I guess you can you remember those old swinging bridges?
Mm-hmm.
You're going across a canyon and you'd be a rope and you got this bridge and you're shaky, and I kind of look at marriage like that. You know, the bridges are marriage, and you step out, you hold her hand, and I step onto that bridge and it's kind of shaky, but you grab onto the rope, and you hold that rope tight, and you know if you hold that rope,
You're gonna be right.
God,
Yeah.
you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to fall. And you get out there, and the wind's blowing, and the bridge is swaying, and maybe you slip or it's wet, but you're holding on to that rope. And the thing is, you get out there, and you get complacent. The wind isn't blowing. The boards seem solid.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of let go of that rope, and you kind of go along. You know, you become complacent. And all of a sudden the wind comes up and you almost fall off and you're reaching for that rope. And once you get it again, you don't ever want to let go of it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that in your marriage. You know, you go through those same things. You know, the stresses, the anxieties, your kids.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just keep holding that rope.
You gotta be thinking about it and mindful and
Yeah.
attentive to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's a complicated subject for sure. Could talk about it
Yeah.
all day long. Yeah, we tell them if there's any doubt, then you need to wait.
Yeah.
You know, we always told our kids, you could be walking up to the altar and you decided, I don't want to get married. We'll respect that.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
We'll deal with it. But, you know, and we tell them once you're taking a vow, and this is a big deal, you know, for life, is with God and you. And so we really emphasize that and the importance of religion. We tell them we want your marriage to succeed. 50% of them fail.
Yeah.
So what's that glue that holds it together? It's God. And if you want your marriage to succeed, you have to include God in it.
Yeah.
The three of you. It's just like that bridge with the rope.
Yeah.
You need to hold the rope if you're going to fall off.
Yeah.
So we really tell them that and how important it is to pray for each other and pray for their marriage and ask God to help them in their struggles. But constantly, you know,
Yeah.
talk to each other, you know, communicate these things. And I think that helps, you know. I think of I heard a person equate marriage. It's like a deck of cards. You see, well, yeah, it starts out with two hearts and a diamond, and after a few years, you want a club and a spade. Well, it doesn't have to be that way.
No.
Maybe if God would hold those two hearts in His hand,
Yeah.
He wouldn't need the rest of the deck.
Right.
You know.
And it helps to become each other's best friends.
That's right.
Yeah,
So.
it's been fun.
My buddy.
When were you to the big one? Do you have big plans for your 50th?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Probably
another
the same
year.
old thing, but just
I suppose the kids will have
Yeah.
something going.
Yeah,
but-
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, really, we don't really have any big plans.
No.
No? Oh, you gotta do
I know,
something.
we haven't thought about it that far. Take it
It's
a day at a
only
time.
a year away.
I know.
You
I
gotta
know.
start planning that trip now.
That's what we should be doing.
Hint, kids. That's what we did for mine. We gotta get a trip or something.
Yeah.
for you
Well, it's
guys.
been delightful
Well, thank
visiting
you for
about
doing
this.
it with me.
Yeah, it's
I
been fun.
appreciate it.